Right, good morning. On my way to the factory again in Lagos. My main man, Abby.
It's Abby.
Abby is driving me.
Yeah, sure.
Abby, do you know what is an amino acid?
Amino acid?
Amino acid.
Okay, amino acid.
Yeah,
That should be either.
part of a protein, huh?
I think so.
Part of protein, right?
Yeah.
So now, Abby, there's in amino acids. Okay, so on the way to the factory, just the introduction. We this morning I was up at 1 o'clock again and felt a little bit sick last night. Went to bed early, up at 1 o'clock, wide awake and thinking about nitrosamines, right? And the issue with nitrosamines is the fact that they say nitrosamines is a compound that they say makes it causes cancer, right? And this is one of the reasons why they say bacon is bad for you, because it's associated with nitrosamine formation. So I did an article this morning while I couldn't sleep on nitrosamines and diet, and the fact that nitrite is not bad for you, it's good for you, it is part of the human physiology. So I posted that online on Facebook and LinkedIn and all those places. But I thought I must expand a little bit on the concept of an amine. Right, so what is an amine? As in nitrosamines, right? So an amine is it's a constitute, it's a part, it's a structure of an amino acid. Right, so part of an amino acid, which is the building block of protein, is an amine, right? Or amine, depending on where you want to put the emphasis, right? So I'm Afrikaans, so I don't know where to put the bloody emphasis. English is my second language, sure, you as well. So I can't speak English properly, right? So whether it's an amine or a mine or whatever the case may be, it's still the structure of the amino acid. So to form nitrosamines, which can cause cancer, you need two things. You need an amine or a mine, and you need a nitrite. Right, so you need those two things. So nitrite, we can't. The French go and ban nitrite. That's the way they want to do it. They want to ban nitrite completely and say it is not necessary anymore. But it's part of physiology, of human physiology. If you eat leafy green vegetables, there's bacteria in your mouth that breaks down the nitrates, NO3 into NO2, nitrites, right? Which they say is this bad thing. And you ingest it. It is part of human physiology. There's physiological reasons why we should have nitrites and nitrates in our body, right? We produce it ourselves. It's part of the nitrogen cycle in the human body. It is not something foreign to us. It is absolutely part and parcel of the human makeup, right? So to say that nitrite is the problem is absolutely stupid, right? So there's two things that you need to form nitrosamines. You need nitrites and you need secondary amines. Now what the hell is that? Secondary amines. And where does amines come from? So amines, like I said, it's part of the structure of an amino acid. But the body, in normal digestion, when we consume food, our bodies don't break down the amino acid, because we use that in the synthesis, in the building of proteins again in our bodies. So we break it down into amino acids. We get a protein into our body. We break it down through digestion, and then we build it. We use those building blocks again to build new proteins, muscle, meat. Right? Yeah. We build it in our bodies, right? We replace damaged proteins and those kind of things. We need it, yeah, right? So it's important for nutrition. This is why protein is so key in terms of nutrition, right? So now, what about the amines, right? The amines don't form in the body because the body doesn't break the amino acid down completely. Amines form outside the body when meat decomposes, for example, when meat rots. Right, the amino acid itself is broken down. Right, the amino acid itself goes back to its normal, into the elements that constitute it. Right. Another way that amines are formed, and these are the key ways, is the other ways through bacteria. That is goes with decomposition of organic matter. So it's through bacteria. So bacteria can break down the amino acid into amines, right? And then the other way that it can happen is through intense heat. Right? So if you roast your meat, for example, you create amines because intense heat, right? So roasting or barbecue and all those kind of things. So here's the constitutes then. We need to form nitrosamines. We need roasted meat. We need roasting, and we need something to be to decompose. Right, so when you talk about bacon, you have high heat, right? Okay, now we put nitrates in meat to cure the meat, right? To preserve it and to give it a nice color and to give it a beautiful taste. So now, this is why bacon is the problem and not necessarily hams, because hams you don't really fry before you eat hams. Bacon you fry, right? So now there's a combination of nitrites and amines, which comes from the charring of the bacon, from the intense grilling of the bacon. And now they say because of this, there's this huge story about now nitrosamines can form in the body and you can get cancer, right? But it's a complete bunch of BS, right? Because the reason being, if you cook bacon, right, we put, let's say, 100 ppm. So the world, I go in my article in detail into this, and I refer to some links that you can look at in my article. I post the link of the article in the description of this as well. Please go and have a look at that if you wonder what is the story with this. The world deals with nitrates. Nitrates can be dangerous if the concentration is too high. There's arsenic, for example, in plants. But it's in such minuscule quantities that we don't even worry about it. But all these things, all these poisons are dose dependent, right? If you ingest very minute, tiny, small quantities of arsenic, you're not going to die from it, right? Same thing with nitrites. In fact, nitrites is essential. You need small quantities of that in the body. Okay, right. Let's go back to the whole thing of bacon. So the world, they said, okay, let's make sure that bacon is a very safe product to eat. We're going to put a tiny, minuscule amount of nitrites in the bacon. So let's say as an average, I use 100 parts per million. Some countries it's 140, 180. Some say it should be 80. There's different legislations around the world, right? But let's use 100 as an average. So 100 ppm ingoing nitrites, parts per million, is the maximum dose we can put into bacon. Is by legislation. If you don't do this, they put you in jail. Or if you go over that, they put you in jail. Then the next thing that we do is we add vitamin C, because vitamin C retards nitrosamine formation, right? I give the mechanism in the article, right? Look at that if you want to look at that. Then vitamin C is added, so there's no chance for nitrosamine formation from bacon, right? But even more than that, there's if you cook the bacon now, and if you produce bacon, there's a drying step. And there's a heating step in producing bacon. So we heat it at 50 degrees, let's say for an hour and a half. 48 degrees, some heat it to 80 degrees, right? But the longer you heat it, right, the more nitrites change into another compound that is less reactive, or it just evaporates as a gas. Nitric oxide is formed, and either the nitric oxide reacts with the meat or it evaporates as a gas. So after the treatment in the meat factory, there's very, very small amounts of nitrite left in the bacon. But even more than that, when you cook the bacon, right, before you grill it, right, there's an escape of the nitrite. So the studies on these things shows that the nitrite levels at cooked bacon can be as low as 5 degrees, or whatever the case. Oh no, 5 to be 5 degrees, 5 parts per million, right? So the 5 parts per million is extremely low. It's minute, it's minuscule, right? So you have minute, tiny amounts of nitrites left in the bacon. What is the issue, right? Okay, well, let's say they were, and then amines can only form if you're going to grill it. So why don't we ban barbecues? Because there you char, there's a possibility there amines will be formed, right? And if you would eat leafy green vegetables with your barbecue, right, why don't we go and put that and outlaw barbecue? Why don't we outlaw grilling of meat? Why don't we outlaw roasting meat completely and make it a crime to eat roasted meat with leafy green vegetables, or with beetroot or something like that, right? The content. So let's just take that stupid argument to the extreme and show how completely ridiculous this thing is of the world against nitrite in minuscule amounts. So they say no, the leafy green vegetables is not so dangerous because there's vitamin C. Well, we pump vitamin C into the bacon as well. That is why we add it. So what is the problem? There is no problem, right? So I just want to do this little quick video on the way to work, and we just picked up my buddy here as well. And are you all right? You had a good night?
Yeah.
Right. And I just want to add this to my article. I'm going to post it in the article as well, to talk about amines and explain a little bit more what it is and where it comes from and how ridiculous this whole thing is of how unhealthy bacon and cured meat is. It's a absolutely fantastic food source from the perspective of the fats and the perspective of the proteins. Nutrient is nutritionally very rich. The proteins are extremely easily digested. It's complete proteins. It's a very healthy food. Right, that's and here we arrive at the meat plant.
Bye.
Cheers, everybody.
Bye.
Cheers. Do you guys know about amines now?
Of
You
course.
remember now, huh?
Of course.
I'm gonna tomorrow when we come, you're gonna tell me about amines now, huh?
No, I'll surely tell you about that.
Cheers, guys.
All right, son.